Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. The Kraft Cheese Company, who also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night, present each week at this time Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve, written by John Whedon. We'll hear from the great Gildersleeve in just a moment. You know, these days it's pretty difficult to get the variety of foods you used to get. That's why you should make the plentiful foods you can get as appetizing as possible. Now, one easy, economical way to make foods taste better is to use delicious Parquet margarine at the table and for cooking, too. First of all, of course, Parquet margarine is a perfectly delicious spread for bread or toast or rolls. And next, Parquet margarine is a tasty seasoning for potatoes and all hot vegetables. Parquet margarine makes cookies and pastries taste better, too, because it's a real flavor shortening, not bland and tasteless as some shortenings are. And lastly, you'll find Parquet adds tempting extra flavor to pan-fried foods. Yes, you can make everyday foods taste better when you use Parquet. Remember, too, it's a nourishing energy food that contains vitamin A. So ask your dealer tomorrow for wholesome, economical Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Well, let's get on to the great Gildersleeve, who's been putting in a busy Saturday morning down at the water department trying to clear his desk of all the odds and ends that have piled up there. As we join him now, we find him almost down to the blotter and feeling pretty good about it.
Action, yes, action. That's the keynote today, Miss Fitz.
And you have accomplished a great deal this morning, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes, sir. Never put off till tomorrow what you can do today.
I try not to.
Procrastination is the thief of time.
There's a letter here.
Time and tide wait for no man.
This woman wrote in 2 weeks ago.
For want of a nail, the shoe was lost, Miss Fitch. Action, that's the thing, action.
Mr. Gildersleeve, are you going to answer this woman's letter?
What does she want?
Action.
Well, let's see the letter.
She says she wrote in 2 weeks ago and never got an answer.
Oh, yes, I remember this. Take an answer.
Very well.
Dear Madam, in reply to your recent letter regarding a Neil in your bathtub, we wish to thank you for calling this to our attention. After a thorough investigation of the matter, we wish to report that it would have been impossible for the said eel to have gained access to your tub through the faucet. As all our water is carefully filtered, and furthermore, standard plumbing fixtures are too small to accommodate an eel of the dimensions you describe. We can only suggest that the creature either crawled up the drain, in which event your attorney should get in touch with the Department of Public Works, not us. Or possibly it was placed in your tub by an enemy. While it's out of our department, we'd suggest that a stopper kept in the tub at all times should prove an effective precaution against eels in the future. Failing which, we'd advise a closer check on your friends. Very truly yours, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, Water Commissioner. You got that?
Yes, Mr. Gildersleeve.
That ought to hold her. What's next?
Well, I don't know whether you want to do anything about this.
Let's have it. Action, Miss Fitch. Let's clear the decks here.
Very well.
This is no time for bottlenecks.
No.
You'll notice that in every photograph of Donald Nelson, there's not a single paper on Donald Nelson's desk. That's the only way to be an executive. Do it now. Strike while the iron is hot. Come. What have you got there?
A 6-month reminder from your dentist.
You. Well, suppose you put that in the deferred file.
That's where it came from.
You're a hard woman, Miss Fitch. All right, call up the dentist and make an appointment for Monday.
Good.
For Leroy. Come on, let's get on here. Time's a-wasting. Have you got the application for my B gas ration?
Yes, it's right here.
Oh, I must remember to get that in this afternoon.
It's all filled out. All you have to do is sign it.
I better check it over. Let's see here. It says, occupational use of the vehicle. If vehicle is used for driving between home and fixed place of work, in the principal occupation as stated in items 4 and 6 above, answer all questions in Part A below. If vehicle is used in the performance of the principal occupation stated in items 4 and 6 above, oh, brother, I'll take your word for it, Miss Fitch.
You also have to get the signatures of any person sharing the ride with you.
Oh, well, Judge Hooker's my share of the rider, but he isn't speaking to me. He can darn well sign, though.
I understand very few people are going to get the B rations.
Oh, I'll get one all right. After all, I'm a city official. I have to do a lot of official driving. I'm entitled to one if anybody is.
Yes, but have you heard who's head of the ration board now?
It doesn't make any difference. Who?
Judge Hooker.
Judge Hooker. Oh, my goodness. Hooker will find some technicality. He'll block it if he has to stage a filibuster. Maybe I better invite the old goat to Thanksgiving dinner after all.
That might soften him up a little.
Yes, certainly. He couldn't accept a man's hospitality and then trick him out of his B card, could he?
I don't recall that the application form covers that.
No, I didn't think so. Quiet. Here comes the old sourball now. Well, hello there, Judge.
When does the bus leave, Gildersleeve?
The bus leaves whenever you're ready, Judgy.
I'm ready now.
Be right with you. Can't keep a customer waiting, can we, Miss Fitch? I'll get my hat and coat.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you're not forgetting...
Oh, yes. Thank you. While you're waiting, Judge, Miss Fitch has an application blank there that requires your signature. A mere formality, you know.
What's this?
Just to show that I'm sharing my car with you.
Oh, so you're applying for a B ration book, huh?
Aren't we all? Give the judge a pen, Miss Fitch. Here. Oh, use mine. It's a self-filler. I think you'll like it. There, that's it.
There you are.
Thank you, Judge. Well, see you Monday, Miss Fitch. Oh, by the way, Horace, I meant to ask you before. I hope you'll give us the pleasure of dining with us as usual on Thursday.
I thought you'd forgotten all about Thanksgiving.
Not at all. Thanksgiving wouldn't be Thanksgiving without you, Horace. You know that.
Stand still, Leroy, now while I fit this.
I feel like a sissy in this fool outfit.
This is the kind of clothes the Pilgrims wore, and they were no sissies.
Yeah, but they didn't have to wear them in front of a whole auditorium full of people.
Stand still, will you, before I jab you with this pin?
Courtship of Miles Standish. Why don't you speak for yourself, John? Yeah. Oh!
Told you you'd get stuck. You know, I think you're going to look real cute when I get this down.
That's just what I'm afraid of. That's what the whole school is going to think.
Leroy, will you stand still?
It wouldn't have been so bad if I was Miles Standish. I'd get to wear a helmet. But John Alden, that panty waist. I'm lucky the teacher didn't make me play Priscilla.
I don't see why you feel that way. John Alden is a hero. Remember, it's John Alden who gets the girl.
Yeah, Ethel Hammerschlag, he can have her.
Hello, Uncle Mort.
Well, hello, Marjorie. And Leroy.
Hello.
Well, look at our little pilgrim.
Hey, Marge, can't I take this off now?
No, wait till I get it pinned.
You know your lines yet, young man?
Some of them.
Well, it's about time. You've been rehearsing that part for a month.
I've been trying to get out of it for a month.
That's no attitude to take. The Courtship of Miles Standish is great literature. I studied it in school myself. I remember it to this very day. This is the forest primeval, the murmuring pines and the hemlocks.
That's Evangeline, Uncle Mort.
Well, that's good, too. Let's hear you recite that speech you were having trouble with last night, Leroy.
No, I don't want to.
Come on now. I want to see if you've learned it.
Some other time, Unc.
No, right now. I'd like to hear it. We both would. Wouldn't we, Marjorie?
We'd love to.
No, I won't do it. Not if she's going to listen.
Young man, you'll recite that speech or you'll go right upstairs to your room.
Okay.
We're waiting.
Let's see. Prithee, Mistress Priscilla, turn not a deaf ear to the suitor one who, though absent
Yet loves thee with a noble and undying passion. Go back and try it again.
Do I have to?
Yes. If you don't keep at it, you'll never learn the part.
If I don't learn the part, maybe we won't have to do it.
You'll do it or I'll know the reason why. Come on now, once more.
Prithee, Mistress Priscilla. I can't say it.
You're not trying. Prithee, Mistress Priscilla. Now you got me doing it. Oh, Bertie, I want to talk to you. Leroy, you go up to your room and practice.
Darn old Miles Standish anyway.
Quiet, you. Bertie, I've invited Judge Hooker to Thanksgiving dinner. So that'll mean one more.
That'll mean 5 more.
What?
Yes, I hope you don't mind, Uncle Mort. I invited 4 of the boys from Camp Fuller.
Oh, well, fine. The more the merrier. Thanksgiving isn't Thanksgiving unless there are plenty around to enjoy the turkey.
Speaking of turkey, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes, Bertie?
You wouldn't want to buy a chance on one, would you? I don't suppose.
What do you mean, Bertie?
Well, the ladies at my church is holding a turkey raffle.
Again? All right, I'll buy a chance. How much are they?
25 cents. That's for one.
One chance. There you are. There's a quarter.
Thank you. Most everybody around here has bought one from me. All the neighbors.
Well, you're doing fine.
Of course. If you used to buy 2 chances, it stands to reason you have twice as good a chance as they have.
Yeah. No getting around that, Bertie. All right, I'll take 2.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you're making no mistake. Turkey's awful expensive this year.
Yes, I know, Bertie.
48 cents a pound at Day One Grocery.
Oh, brother.
Yeah. So if even you used to buy 3 chances, you'd still be ahead.
Sold, Bertie. Make it 3.
Yes, sir. Let's see now. How many is it going to be for dinner?
Well, there's Marjorie and Leroy and Judge Hooker and Mrs. Ransom and the 4 soldiers. And you, Bertie, that makes 9.
And you, that makes 12.
Oh, yes, me.
That's going to take a big turkey.
Well, maybe we should order one right away and ask him to hold it for us.
Well, let's wait and see how this raffle comes out first, Marjorie. We don't want to be stuck with 2 turkeys, you know.
Of course, they've sold quite a lot of chances on it, and you've only got 3.
Bertie, if you can guarantee I'll get the turkey, I'll take 5 chances.
Well, I can't promise nothing, but my cousin's doing the drawing.
I'll take 5.
Well, that'll be $1.25.
That's right. Well, here's another $1.
That's quite a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
$1.25 will buy a lot of things.
Don't I know it?
You wouldn't like to take a couple more chances just to protect your investment.
You get out of here, Bertie, before you ruin me. I got to get down to the ration board. Look at that crowd. Pardon me, could somebody tell me whether this is where you get B ration books?
No, this is where you don't get them.
Yeah, wise guy. Madam, would you mind?
You can't shove in here.
I'm not trying to shove in.
Try into the line.
Into the line. I've been waiting here since 2 o'clock, and you come trying to shove in.
Yeah.
Madam, I was merely trying to ask a civil question.
Try into the line, Bud.
Just a minute. Who do you think you're pushing?
Well, who do you think you're pushing?
Well, who do you think you're pushing? Why, George, if you weren't wearing glasses...
Well, I'll take them off. There.
You look worse. Put them back on.
What's the fuss here? What's the fuss?
He tried to shove in ahead of me.
I did not.
He did, too, and he squeezed my hand.
Oh! Now, look here, my good woman.
We'll have to ask for order here, my friend. Why don't you just take your place in the line?
I'm trying to find out whether this is the right line. I've come for my B ration book.
Oh, you've come for it, huh?
Yes. I have my application right here.
You and 100 million others.
What? Young man, evidently you don't know who I am. I happen to be Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, and I have to do a lot of driving.
Where to?
Well, out to the reservoir.
To the reservoir? What for?
See if there's anything in it.
Yeah? Listen, brother, if we gave a ration book to everybody who wants to drive out to the reservoir for a little necking in the moonlight...
I don't do any necking in the moonlight.
Oh, you like it in the dark?
Yeah, no! And I didn't come here to be insulted by underlings.
End of the line, Bud.
Yes, end of the line.
Oh, shut up! Oh, Judge, I want you to tell this young whippersnapper here where he gets off.
Well, now, Gildy.
He has the nerve to tell me I'm not entitled to a B ration book.
Well, he may be right, Gildy. You're only sharing the ride with one person.
You can't throw those technicalities at me, Hooker. You're the share of my rider. You signed this application yourself.
I know that, Gildy. As a share of the rider, I'd be delighted to see you get your ration book. But as a ration official, I couldn't possibly pass this application. My conscience wouldn't allow it.
All right, Judge. As a ration official, you needn't bother to come to Thanksgiving dinner. And as a share of the rider, from now on, you can walk.
End of the line.
Oh, you can have your old line.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few seconds. If you're troubled with a food budget that's hard to keep in line these days, just remember this. There are any number of wholesome, good-tasting, nutritious foods that can help you keep your food budget down. Now, one such food, surely, is Parquet Margarine, Kraft's delicious spread for bread, because it's good-tasting, economical, and nutritious. Parquet Margarine's flavor is something pretty special. Thousands know it as the margarine that tastes so deliciously good. And just as important, Parquet Margarine is an economical source of food elements that your family needs. Yes, wholesome, nourishing Parquet Margarine is one of the best energy foods you can serve. And year-round, every pound of Parquet contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. Yes, it's wise to economize with Parquet margarine. It's delicious, nutritious, and thrifty. So buy Parquet margarine tomorrow. Just ask your food dealer for Parquet, Parkay. Parquet, the margarine that's made by Kraft. Now back to Summerfield and the great Gildersleeve. Apparently he'll get no more gas than the rest of us, but what about turkey? It's Tuesday afternoon now, only 2 days before Thanksgiving. And we find our hero checking last-minute details with Marjorie.
What about those 4 soldiers, my dear? Are you sure they're coming?
Oh, yes. I had a note this morning from their commanding officer. They'll arrive at 12 o'clock sharp in a Jeep.
A Jeep? Mm-hmm. Oh, brother, what an appetite they'll have. I'll have to run around the house a couple of times to get myself up to concert pitch. Can't let the boys show me up at my own table.
I don't think you need to worry about that, Uncle Mort.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess we're all set. Soldiers accepted. Hooker canceled. Mrs. Ransom's coming, isn't she?
Well, you invited her, didn't you?
No, I thought you'd take care of that. You're the lady of the house.
Oh, but I thought you'd want to. Oh, dear. And I went over there this morning to borrow a roasting pan for the turkey and never said a word about it. What must she think?
Oh, this is terrible. This is awful. I'll run over there right now. Serves right. She's made other plans. A fine thing. Borrow a woman's roaster and then not invite her to dinner. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Leela, I've come to explain.
I don't know what there is to explain, I'm sure.
May I come in?
Well, I'm rather busy.
Just for a moment.
Well.
Leela, of course you're coming to Thanksgiving dinner Thursday.
Well, I'm hardly in the habit of going to places to which I've not been invited, Mr. Gildersleeve.
But you are invited. You've been invited all along. There was a mix-up, that's all. I thought Marjorie had asked you, and Marjorie thought I had.
How do I know? How do I know you're not just inviting me for my roasting pan?
Leela, when I thought of inviting you, nothing was further from my mind than a roasting pan.
Oh, you say those things, but you don't mean them.
It's the truth. You were the first one on my list, Leela.
Was I, Throckmorton? Sure enough.
Yeah, sure enough.
Oh, but I'm afraid I couldn't accept at this late date. You see, I've had all these other invitations.
Oh.
If I turned them down now, I know they'd be heartbroken, much as I'd like to have dinner with you.
We're having a 20-pound turkey.
Well, I love turkey, but I'm afraid I can't.
I'll save you the white meat.
No, don't tempt me now.
I'll save you the wishbone. We can make a wish on it.
What would you wish, Throckmorton?
I'm not supposed to tell you.
Well, I don't know that I could trust you with a wishbone. And anyway, I've promised these other people.
But you've got to come, Leela. Marjorie and Leroy will be terribly disappointed if you don't. So will I. So will Bertie. So will the Army.
The Army?
Yes, we're having 4 young lieutenants to dinner, too.
Throckmorton, why in the world didn't you say so?
You mean you'll come?
Will I?
You're too good to me, Leela.
What did she say, Uncle Mort?
She's coming with bells on.
I wouldn't put it past her.
Huh?
Uncle Mort, can I borrow your shotgun?
No, Leroy, certainly not. Why?
I'm supposed to bring a gun to school tomorrow.
What kind of a school are they running? A reform school?
No, Miles Standish has got to have a blunderbuss.
A blunderbuss.
Here's your pilgrim suit, Leroy. I pressed the collar, so don't mess it up.
Oh, put it on, Leroy, and show Uncle Mort how nice it looks, not finished.
Oh, no.
Go ahead. You look real nice in it.
I look like a sissy in it.
You look better than you do in that Mickey Mouse sweatshirt you wear all the time.
Yeah, and cleaner, too. Put on the pilgrim suit, Leroy.
Oh,
Your sister worked hard on it. It won't do you any harm to put it on once. Go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to meet that guy Longfellow.
Yeah. Well, Bertie, you think we're going to have enough turkey for all these people Thursday?
I don't know, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Let's see now. We've got 4 soldiers, and the 4 of us here, and Mrs. Ransom.
What about Judge Hooker?
Judge Hooker is an ungrateful old goat. Never mention his name in this house.
Excuse me. I didn't know it was like that again.
There'll be 8 of us at dinner. And you know the way soldiers eat. You think we ought to figure on 2 turkeys?
I don't know, Mr. Gildersleeve. I don't know what we ought to do.
What's the matter, Bertie? You seem to be sort of dragging today.
I don't know. I don't guess I feel so good.
Out a little late last night?
No, sir, no later than usual. I just got a feeling, that's all.
What kind of a feeling?
Like things wasn't going to work out somehow.
Oh, well, don't let it get you down. By the way, when are they going to raffle off that turkey I bought all those chances on?
Yes, we can't wait much longer to find out about that. Thanksgiving's only 2 days off.
I was thinking, Mr. Gildersleeve, how would it be if we had a nice ham instead of a turkey?
Bertie, are you hiding something from us?
No, sir, I ain't hiding nothing. Except they had that raffle last night.
Oh.
You came close, Mr. Gildersleeve. You came mighty close. The winning number was 61, and you had 62.
Eesh. But it still leaves us without a turkey.
Well, sort of.
Oh, well, if you gamble, you have to expect those things.
We better order a turkey right away, though.
Yes, we can't invite all those soldiers to come 20 miles for Thanksgiving dinner and have no Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, I'll go call up the market and reserve one.
That's just the trouble.
What do you mean?
I called up the market, and all the turkeys is reserved.
You mean they won't sell us one?
Butcher says there ain't a turkey left in Summerfield. I don't know what's the matter. Last week, no pot roast. This week, no turkey.
We've got to have a turkey. We've invited all these soldiers. We've invited Mrs. Ransom. We've got to find one.
But where?
Don't ask me.
All right, Unc. How do you like it?
Like what?
The pilgrim suit.
Oh, forget the pilgrim suit. We just lost our turkey.
No turkey?
No turkey.
How do you like that? Well, it looks like we'll all wind up eating turkey sandwiches at the drugstore.
Yeah.
Some Thanksgiving.
The drugstore. Maybe Peavy's got a turkey. Hold everything, kids. I'll be right back. I'm going to the drugstore.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Peavy. Peavy, you've got to help me out.
Well, I'm always glad to do customer service.
Good. Have you got a turkey?
What was that again?
Have you got a turkey?
A turkey? Well, now, I've had people come in here and ask for some strange things, but this is the first time I've ever had a request for a turkey.
But never mind that. Have you got one?
No, Mr. Gildersleeve. Turkeys are one thing that I don't carry. I'm sorry. Have you tried the meat market?
Of course I've tried the meat market. Why do you think I came in here?
I wondered.
Now, just a minute, Peavy. You serve turkey sandwiches at your soda fountain, don't you?
Yes, we do serve a turkey sandwich.
You can't make a turkey sandwich without a turkey, can you?
Well, now, I wouldn't say that.
In other words, Peavy, your turkey sandwich is not a turkey sandwich.
Well, turkey sandwich has become a sort of a trade expression, although we serve it with genuine cranberry jelly on the side.
But suppose you don't care for cranberry jelly.
And then you just ask for the regular chicken sandwich.
Yes, Peavy, I'm surprised at you. I don't know how you can sleep nights.
Well, I did used to have a little trouble, but I just take a cup of hot cocoa before going to bed now, and I find that sets me right. So does Mrs. Peavy.
Well, this isn't finding a turkey. I got to get going. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve. Have a nice Thanksgiving.
Same to you. Don't drink too much cocoa, and don't let Mrs. Peavy.
Any luck, Uncle Mort?
Not a bit, my dear. I've been everywhere. It's no use. The Army's picked the place clean. There's not a single turkey left.
Maybe I should warn those boys at camp. They'll do better if they stay there.
Yes. Wait. There's just one chance left.
What's that?
If we can find out who won the turkey in Bertie's raffle, we might be able to buy it from him. Bertie!
Yes, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Would you mind coming in here?
Yes, sir?
Bertie, do you know who won that turkey in your raffle?
No, sir.
Do you think you could find out?
Well, sir, I might be able to, and then again I might not.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if I was to find out who won, you might not like it.
Come clean, Bertie. What bush are you beating about now? Do you know who won the turkey?
Yes.
Well, why didn't you say so? Who is it?
Well, you said never to mention Judge Hooker's name.
Oh!
I told you wasn't going to like it.
Well, there goes our only chance.
Uncle Mort, don't you think Judge Hooker would be willing to let you have it?
After what I told him down at the ration board? No, my dear, I really gave him a piece of my mind there.
What if you took it all back and invited him to dinner again?
When he's got the turkey, he'd just laugh at me. Wait a minute. Bertie.
Yeah?
Does Judge Hooker know yet that he's won the turkey?
No, sir. I'm supposed to deliver it to him this evening.
Excuse me, folks. I got to see a judge about a bird. Horace, I've come to ask your forgiveness.
You come to the wrong place, Gildersleeve.
That's a cruel attitude, Judge, but I don't blame you for taking it.
You behave like a boor, Gildersleeve.
You're right, a big boor. In front of a whole lot of people, too.
Yeah.
I could kick myself when I think of it.
Well, we all fly off the handle sometimes.
There was no excuse for it, doing a thing like that to my old friend.
Well, Gildy, of
Horace, you may think me a sentimental old fool, but we've been pals for a good many years now, haven't we? Off and on.
Yes, Gildy, we have. Off and on.
And we've always had Thanksgiving dinner together, haven't we?
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Well, I want you to have it with us again this year.
You really mean that?
Horace, I've said it before, and I mean it now more than ever. If you don't come to Thanksgiving dinner, it just won't be Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, then, I'll certainly be delighted to come.
Good. Don't forget now.
I won't.
We'll be counting on you.
I'll be there. What time would you like to have me come?
Oh, come early, Judge. Come about 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock?
Yeah. And when you come, would you mind bringing that turkey you won in the raffle, Judge?
Gildy, I've got to be going. But it's been a mighty pleasant day.
Oh, stick around, Judge. The evening's young yet.
No, I've got to get an early start in the morning. But I don't know when I've had a finer Thanksgiving.
Well, it was your turkey, Judge.
Well, I share my turkey, you share your car. That's the spirit today.
Yeah, and the good spirit, too. It brings people together, Judge.
Yes, it does, Gildy. I'm sorry we had that misunderstanding down at the ration board. As a matter of fact, you're probably entitled to a B ration. You use your car for official business.
Well, I don't want a B book.
What?
No, I've been thinking about it, Horace. It seems to me the spirit of rationing is to get along with as little as you can, instead of grabbing all you can get.
You're absolutely right, Gildy. And I'm glad to hear you say it. You're a credit to the community.
Well, thank you, Horace. And you may rest assured that even though I've only a humble A ration, my car will still be at your service at all times.
You mean that, Gildy?
I do indeed.
That's fine. I've got to meet a train at Moore's Junction at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Good night, Gildy.
Good night, everybody.
Original music heard on this program was composed and conducted by Billy Mills. This is Ken Carpenter speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company and inviting you to tune in again next week for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve.
Ladies, when you want to make good macaroni and cheese, get a package of Kraft Dinner. This wonderful product is really an answer to a housewife's prayer for an easy and quick-to-make main dish. It takes only 7 minutes cooking time to fix delicious macaroni and cheese with Kraft Dinner. Put the macaroni that's in the package into boiling water and cook rapidly for 7 minutes. In just that short time, you have fluffy, tender macaroni all ready for the cheese goodness. So you take the package of Kraft Grated, which comes with Kraft Dinner, and sprinkle it on the macaroni, stirring the delicious cheese flavor through and through. That's all there is to it. Your macaroni and cheese is ready to be served. And once you've prepared it this way, you'll never want to go back to the old-fashioned way of baking it. Not when Kraft Dinner gives you such tempting macaroni and cheese in just 7 minutes. Why not try it tomorrow? Just ask your dealer for a package of Kraft Dinner. It's so convenient, so economical, and so good. This program reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. Cheese Company, who also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night, present each week at this time Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve, written by John Whedon. We'll hear from the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. You know, bread is a mighty important food, but after all, to make bread really appetizing, you need a good-tasting spread on it. And that's the reason you should know about Parquet margarine, the delicious, wholesome spread for bread made by Kraft. You see, Parquet is economical, so you can serve your family all they want. And if you haven't tasted margarine for a good long time, you're going to be pleasantly surprised when you taste Parquet. Parquet's flavor is something you'll want to tell your friends about. It's so delicate and appetizing, so downright good. Besides using Parquet as a spread, you'll want to use it for baking and pan frying, too. It's a fine energy food that helps provide the vitamin A your family needs. You're going to be pleased with Parquet's economy, too. So order a pound or two tomorrow. Just ask for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet, the margarine made by Kraft. Well, Summerfield is aflutter. Showbills have appeared around town announcing a revival of the student print starring Vera Laval of the original company. When the box office opened this morning, the first in line was our friend, the Great Gildersleeve. And we find him now at home, stretched out on the couch, gazing into the fire and warming himself in the memory of days gone by, while through his head run the immortal melodies of Sigmund Romberg.
I have a dream of you, fashioned of a starlight, perfume of... Oh, she was lovely. She was lovely. Vera Laval.
Mr. 5 feet tall and he's 5 feet wide.
Oh, that song. Leroy!
I'm sorry, Uncle. Didn't know you were here.
I told you I don't like that song. I don't like a song that makes fun of anyone's physical peculiarities.
Oh. Well, gee, Uncle, you don't have to take it personally.
I don't see any other way to take it. It's certainly not music. Mr. 5 by 5.
5 feet tall and 5 feet wide. He don't
Bertie.
know. Yes, sir.
Must you sing that song?
Well, you were singing, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Let me make my position clear to everyone. I do not like Mr. 5 by 5. I don't want to hear it. You must sing it when I'm not around.
Yes, sir.
Can't I even play the record?
No.
That's what I bought with my own money. It's Freddie Slack's band.
Freddie Slack. I don't care if it's Kusavitsky's. I don't like it.
But why not, Unc?
Because it's ungrammatical, for one thing. He don't measure no more. What kind of talk is that?
That's jive talk.
Jive talk? Well, I'm not going to have this place turned into a juke joint, and that's final. Let's have no more discussion of it. Bertie, when's dinner going to be ready?
Oh, my goodness. That's what I came in to tell you.
What?
It's ready. Leroy, run upstairs and tell your sister, will you?
Oh, don't stand down here and whistle. Go up and tell her.
Okay. Mr. 5 by 5.
Oh, what's the use? I'll be right in, Bertie. By the way, what are we having tonight?
Well, we're having turkey.
But we had turkey last night. We've had turkey croquettes, we've had turkey hash, we've had cold turkey and warmed over turkey.
Well, that's turkey for you.
Leroy, give me that. Audrey's got a new fella.
What?
Leroy, you give me that picture. Audrey's got a new fella. Come on, make him give it to me.
Leroy.
Look what Dopey keeps stuck in our mirror.
Give it here.
No, now give it to me. It's mine.
Just a minute, my dear. Don't snatch.
Well, I don't see why he has to come snooping around my bedroom.
Uncle Mort told me to, yeah.
I told you nothing of the kind. I told you to go up and tell her dinner was ready. And it is. Come on, we'll settle this at the dinner table.
Well, Leroy has no business taking things that don't belong to him.
You're quite right, my dear. Leroy, give it back to her, whatever it is. What is it, anyway?
Nothing. It's just an old picture out of a magazine.
It's Alan Ladd. She thinks he's murdered.
Leroy, I'd like to break your neck.
And who, may I ask, is Alan Ladd?
Oh, you know him. He played in that movie with Veronica Lake.
Who's Veronica Lake?
Are you kidding? You know Alan Ladd. He plays gangsters. He talks with his mouth shut. Come one step closer, bud, and you're dead.
That is not like Alan Ladd.
Well, you know Veronica Lake.
Leroy, eat your soup. I don't know what this generation is coming to anyway. Movies, gangsters, juke joints, Mr. 5x5.
Yeah.
You. In my day, we had good, wholesome, artistic entertainment, and we enjoyed it.
Such as what, Uncle Mort? The Merry Widow? Oh, you kid.
No, not the Merry Widow. I'm not quite as old and dilapidated as you might think.
Well, what? I'd like to know what you thought was hot stuff when you were young.
Marjorie, I don't recall that we ever referred to it as hot stuff. But as long as I live, I'll never forget a performance I saw of the Student Prince.
Oh, brother.
Oh, for goodness sake, it's playing here right now. It opens tomorrow.
I know that, my dear. And with the same star I saw in it, Vera Laval. She was a gorgeous thing. Golden curls and blue eyes and dimples and a smile. Well, I saw it 4 times.
Why, Uncle Mort, I never thought of you as a stage door Johnny.
You may think you're joking, my dear. But as a matter of fact, I did wait outside the stage door for her one afternoon. I stood 3 hours in the snow just waiting for a glimpse of her.
What happened?
Nothing. They weren't giving a matinee that day.
Oh, I think that's sad.
Oh, but that didn't stop me. I went back to the stage door again that night.
Did she come out?
No, she came out the front door. But I saw her, and I ran after her. And that was when she spoke to me.
What did she say?
Well, I remember she was getting into a cab, and I saw a glove lying at her feet, and I picked it up and gave it to her.
And what did she say?
She said it wasn't hers. Oh, but she was wonderful. I remember a song she sang. Deep in my heart, dear, I have a dream of you, fashion of starlight, perfume of Oh, and she sang that. The whole audience rose to his feet as one man.
I walked out.
Young man, have you ever seen The Student Prince?
No.
And I'll thank you to reserve criticism until you have.
Excuse me, is everything all right?
Oh, yes, Bertie. I'll ring when we finish the soup.
Yes, ma'am. I thought I heard Mr. Gildersleeve hollering.
What?
Mr. Gildersleeve was not hollering.
The idea.
I don't know. I've been hearing things lately. Must be the gremlins or something.
Yes. You may take up my plate now, Bertie. I don't care for any soup.
Don't you? You ate it all.
Did I? Oh, well, take it away anyway. I'm not very hungry this evening.
Oh, I didn't mean to make you mad, Unc.
I'm not mad, Leroy. I'm just distressed at what seems to be a serious lack in your education, that's all. You'd spend less time listening to Mr. 5x5. By George, tomorrow night I'm going to take you and Marjorie to hear The Student Prince.
Oh, gosh, Unc, I'm afraid I can't make it.
What do you mean you can't make it? I'm offering to take you to the theater, young man. Live actors on a real stage. Something that hasn't been seen in Summerfield in 10 years. You understand?
Yeah, I know, but, Unc...
But what?
Well, Toots Malarkey is breaking in a new band out at the Avalon Ballroom tomorrow night.
Toots Malarkey, forsooth.
But he's got a trombone player that's supposed to be out of this world.
And he's got Mary Moffat singing the vocals.
You too, my dear. Well, all right, you can have your Toots Malarkey and your Mary Muffin. I know somebody who can appreciate good music when she hears it. And I'm going over there right now.
Mr. Gildersleeve, your dinner. You coming back?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Yep. It's the gremlins.
Throckmorton, I'd love to go to the play with you. I really would. But just about an hour ago, Judge Hooker called up.
Oh, Hooker.
Yes, and he asked me to go with him.
Well, Leela, of course the judge is tone deaf, but if you don't mind that.
Oh, I'd ever so much rather go with you, Throckmorton, because I know your real love of music and all, but I can't very well turn the judge down now, can I?
No, I suppose not. I just hope he won't spoil it for you, that's all.
How do you mean, spoil it?
Well, as soon as he gets in the theater, he usually goes to sleep.
Oh.
Yeah, and when he sleeps, he snores.
Oh, dear.
And when he snores, oh, brother.
Oh, dear, I do hope he won't be conspicuous.
Conspicuous? Oh, they'll probably throw him out before he gets too bad. They usually do. Well, I hope you enjoy it, Leela.
Oh, don't go go, Throckmorton?
Yes, I've got to go. I've got to get down to the hotel and pay my respects to Kitty. She'll be expecting me.
Kitty?
Vera Laval, the actress. Her friends call her Kitty.
Oh, you know her?
Oh, yes. We met some years ago.
Did you know her well? Why, Throckmorton, you never told me about that.
What was there to tell? It was the old story. She had her career, so eventually she went her way, and I went mine. She was a lovely creature, though. And now, after all these years, we meet again. Life is funny, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah. I remember the night I first met her. It was in front of the theater, the Tivoli. She was waiting for her car, and she dropped her glove. I still have it.
Oh, Throckmorton, you're so romantic. You know, people used to tell me I ought to go on the stage.
They did?
Yes. You know, I'd love to meet your friend. I'll tell you what, I'm giving a little chafing dish supper here after the theater tomorrow night. Why don't you come and bring Miss whatever her name is?
Oh, I'm afraid I couldn't do that. Kitty's the shy type, and you know how actresses hate publicity or anything like that.
Oh, do they?
Yes. And anyway, with Hooker here, well, you know, he's a little uncouth. He wouldn't know how to behave with an actress.
Well, try to come anyway, will you?
I will if I can, Leela. Got to go now.
Well, goodbye. Well, what is it, Throckmorton? Have you forgotten something?
Egad, she was lovely. Goodbye, Leela.
Goodbye, Throckmorton.
Good morning, Floyd.
Oh, come in, Judge. Come in. I may be a little while, Judge. I'm giving Mr. Gildersleeve the works here. A little massage.
What are you doing, Gildy? Having your face lifted?
No, I'm... Oh, get that stuff out of my mouth, Floyd.
Sorry, I didn't know you were going to open it.
You think I could keep it closed with that old goat sounding off around here?
Take the other chair there, Judge. Got some new magazines, Life, Pick, Radio Mirror. Got a new Esquire.
I've seen it.
Well, you don't lose any time. It only come in yesterday.
Come on, you book lovers. Let's get on with this, Floyd. I've got things to do.
Yeah, make him pretty, Floyd. He's got a big romance on tonight.
Who told you?
Oh, a little bird.
Yeah, a little bird named Leela Ransom.
I guess it sort of cut you out there, didn't it, Gildy? I guess you were a little slow on the trigger.
Cut me out nothing. I've got other plans.
Yeah, I heard all about that. Floyd, you may not believe it, but our friend Gildersleeve here was quite a Romeo in his younger days.
Oh, now, Hooker.
He was just like that with Vera Lavelle.
You mean the actress?
Yeah, if you could call her that.
Now, listen here, Hooker. Vera Lavelle could have gone into the Metropolitan Opera.
Now, why didn't she?
She was too pretty. The prima donna was jealous.
Who told you that? Vera Lavelle?
Well, maybe she did and maybe she didn't.
Oh, Gildersleeve, who do you think you're fooling? You may be able to fool Leela Ransom with those stories, but not me. You don't know Vera Lavelle any more than I do.
Oh, no? Prove it.
I don't have to prove it, but I'll bet you can't even get the woman's autograph.
All right. I'll bet you a new hat.
What do you want with a new hat? You never had any trouble talking through the old one. I got him that time, didn't I, Floyd?
Yeah, that was a good one, Judge.
Yes, all right, Hooker. Just for that, I'll fix you. I'll see you at Leela Ransom's tonight, and I'll not only turn up tonight with Vera Lavalle's autograph, I'll turn up with Vera Laval. I'll fix you. Ooh, who am I fixing?
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in a few seconds. If you read the food pages in the newspapers and magazines, you know how important our government thinks good nutrition is these days. While our health and strength really depend to a large extent on the wholesome, nourishing food we eat. So you'll be glad to know that the right foods need not be expensive. And an example of that is Parquet margarine, the delicious, nourishing spread for bread made by Kraft. You see, besides being mighty good tasting, Parquet margarine is an economical source of important food elements. Parquet is one of the best energy foods you can serve. It helps provide the vital energy your family needs for hard work and play. And Parquet margarine is a reliable year-round source of vitamin A. Every pound contains 9,000 units of this important vitamin. Yes, Parquet is one of America's highly nutritious foods, yet it's wonderfully thrifty, too. So put Parquet margarine on tomorrow's grocery list. Remember, it's Parkay. P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parkay margarine made by Kraft. Now let's get back to the great Gildersleeve, whom we find preparing himself for an evening of high adventure. He's bathed and shaved, and now, with his dress trousers dragging and his suspenders drooping, he burrows through his bedroom closet looking for his patent leather shoes.
I wish Bertie wouldn't keep straightening out this closet. I saw those shoes only last week. Bertie! Oh, here they are.
What is it, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Nothing. Look at the dust on the darn things. Inside them, too. A miniature storm. You'd think Bertie would get into that closet once in a while. I'd better speak to her.
Uncle Mort!
Yes, Marjorie?
Will you please make Leroy get out of the tub?
Make him what?
Get out of the tub! Get out of the tub!
I'm not in the tub.
I'm talking about Leroy.
Oh, Leroy, whatever you're doing, stop it. Well, Bertie put all the studs in my shirt. That's just like finding money. Let's see. Front collar button. There you are. Back collar button. Oh, well, I'll use the wooden one from the laundry. Come to think of it, that's what I had to use the last time. Who's that?
It's me, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, yes, Bertie?
I got your white tie, and I'll put it right here on the doorknob.
Thank you, Bertie. Oh, that looks fine.
Uncle Mort!
Yes, Leroy?
Marjorie won't let me use her comb.
Why don't you use your own?
It's busted.
That's ridiculous. What do you mean it's busted?
No teeth.
No teeth. Well, let him use it this once, Marjorie, and stop this bickering, and we'll never get to the theater. I wonder who thought of a white tie to go with a tail coat. Look like a penguin. This vest doesn't come down very far. Guess I'll have to button the top button of the pants after all. Now, the coat. By George Gildersleeve, you're a fine figure of a man. Wait till Leela sees you in that. You'll make Hooker wish he'd never been born. Hooker with his 1929 tuxedo. Hello, Peavy.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. All dressed up, I see.
Never mind that, Peavy. Give me half a dozen panatellas. I'm in a hurry. The children are waiting outside.
Panatellas? Why, you usually take the...
Yeah, I know, perfectos, but I need them to fit my case here.
Ooh, cigar case, too. You must be going down to the Opera House.
That's right. I'm stepping out later, too, with the star of the show.
Well, now, that's real friendly of you, Mr. Gildersleeve. I suppose he is a stranger in town.
Well, Peavy, I'm stepping out with Miss Vera Laval.
Ooh, stepping out.
Yes, Miss Laval and I were rather close friends some years ago.
I guess those actresses like to flirt, don't they?
Where did you ever hear that?
Did you ever take her to one of those intimate little suppers?
I'm not talking, Peavy.
Mr. Gildersleeve, did you ever drink out of her slipper?
That chapter of my life is a closed book, Peavy.
I see.
But I may open it up for just one little peek.
Well, in that case, have you thought of taking her a box of candy, Mr. Gildersleeve? A nice selection of chocolates often makes a favorable impression on a woman.
I'm saying it with flowers, Peavy. You see this corsage?
Those are nice. Such a refined odor. Of course, Mrs. Peavy is very partial to geraniums.
You don't give an actress geraniums, Peavy. Actresses need special handling. Actresses are entirely different from ordinary women.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Don't you fool yourself, Peavy. With an actress, you never know where you are. An actress can look you right in the eye and lie like a trooper. She can laugh 1 minute and cry the next. She can run through the whole gamut of human emotions in no time. And for no reason.
Yes, so can Mrs. Peavy.
Give me those panatellas.
Oh, yes, here you are. Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, I couldn't interest you in a new perfume for men? It's called Heather.
No, perfume is for people who have something to conceal, and I haven't. Have I, Peavy?
Well, not really, Mr. Gildersleeve. Nothing to be ashamed of, but mothballs do have a characteristic aroma.
It'll wear off. Good night, Peavy.
Good night, Mr. Gildersleeve.
this an opera house?
No remarks, young man.
Looks like a Roman ruin.
This was a very fine theater in its day.
It's a dump alongside the Majestic.
Quiet, you. You're going to see this whether you like it or not, so stop beefing.
Okay. Hey, can we buy some candy?
Where are we going to buy candy?
They were selling it out in the lobby.
We just got settled, Leroy. Why didn't you ask for it then? No, you can't have any candy.
We didn't get any programs, Uncle Mort.
Oh, so we didn't. Usher. Miss. Well, I'll get her when she comes back. Oh, there's Dr. Pettibone and Mrs. Pettibone. Hello.
Uncle Mort, not so loud. People are looking at you.
Hey, Unc.
No, Leroy, you may not. What is it?
When does the show start?
8:30.
Did they give us a newsreel, or did we just get this student prince thing?
Suppose you just wait and see.
Hey, look! Look who's coming down the aisle.
Who?
His Honor, the old ghost.
And Mrs. Ransom's with him.
Say, they're coming in here. They must be sitting in these seats right ahead of us.
Yeah, Hooker fixed that. He did it deliberately.
Oh, how could he, Uncle Mort?
I don't know, but it's no coincidence. He did it to burn me up. Oh, good evening, Leela. Hello, Horace.
Well, isn't this nice? We're all practically sitting together.
Yes, quite a coincidence, isn't it?
Hello, Marjorie.
Hello.
Leroy.
Hi.
Didn't know you were bringing the brood, Gildy.
I'm leaving him after the show.
My, you're looking so distinguished this evening, Throckmorton.
Oh, thank you. You're looking, well, yourself.
Say, Gildy, have you got a pocket full of mothballs, or you've been sleeping in a cedar closet?
Excuse me, Judge. Miss, would you mind stopping the usher there, please, madam? Thank you. Where's that card now? Miss, will you kindly take this calling card back upstage and give it to Miss Laval with my compliments? Yeah, Vera Laval, the star of the show.
Uncle Mort, not so loud. Everyone in the theater can hear you.
Yes, miss. She'll be thrilled when she learns I'm out front tonight. I sent her some flowers, of course, earlier, her favorite kind. I just wrote on the card from an old admirer. But she'll know.
Louder, Gildy. They can't hear you up in the balcony.
Oh, Throckmorton.
Yes, Leela?
I do hope you'll be coming to my house after the show and bring your friend.
Yes, don't forget the friend.
Well, she's not too tired, Leela. We'd love to.
Hey, there go the lights.
Oh, isn't this exciting, kids? This is what I love about the theater. When the lights go down and the curtain's just about to go up. There's nothing like it.
The orchestra's coming in now. See their heads?
Yeah, like a row of pool balls. Can you imagine any of those guys playing with Toots Malarkey?
Yips, you wait, Leroy. You're going to love this. It's got some of the most wonderful music. There's one scene in particular where Kathy comes in, that's Vera Laval, and they sing, "Deep in my heart, dear."
Oh, Lord, please. What will people think?
Forgive me, my dear. I always forget myself when I hear that song. You see, we used to think of that as our song.
Oh, for goodness sake. Usher, will you ask them to stop that racket back there?
Uncle Mort, the usher, she's signaling to you.
She can't do anything to me. I'm not disturbing anybody.
No, she's got a card for you. Look, she's passing it in.
A card? Oh, a card. It must be from Vera. Or Kitty, as we call her. It must be from her. Thank you, miss. My goodness, it is from her. She wants me to come back to her dressing room.
Hey, where you going, Unc?
Backstage. I'll probably see the show from the wings. You and Marjorie stay here and enjoy it, understand?
Oh.
I want you to enjoy it. Hey, let me out of there. I mean, pardon me, will you, madam? Oh, my corn.
Have you got the chafing dish going, Judge?
Yeah, doesn't blow up again.
Well, I've got the cheese and everything. Oh, I suppose I might as well start it.
Leela, I owe you an apology.
Hmm?
I've seen some bad performances in my time, but that one tonight, wow.
Oh, I can't agree with you, Judge. I quite enjoyed it. And I thought Vera Laval took her part real well. Of course, I could have sworn she was wall-eyed, but maybe it was just where I was sitting.
I'll tell you one thing, she'll never see 50 again.
Well, you can hardly blame the poor creature for that. But those costumes, I mean, really, do you suppose she made them herself? Oh, I wonder if that could be her now.
If it isn't, Gildersleeve owes me a hat. I'll go, Leela. Well, come in, Gildy, come in.
Miss Laval, may I present Judge Horace Hooker?
Oh, how do you do?
This is a pleasure, Miss Laval.
Judge Hooker is our local constable, so to speak.
Oh, always glad to meet a judge socially.
And our hostess, Mrs. Ransom, Miss Laval.
I'm just so thrilled you could come, Miss Laval.
But, darling, you were such a darling to invite me. I smell something cooking.
Welsh rabbit. Judge Hook and I were just singing, Miss Laval, how much we enjoyed your performance.
Oh, did you, darling? Thanks so much. Oh, I'm afraid I wasn't really in voice tonight. I was nervous for some reason.
Oh, yes, I can imagine. It must be quite exciting, you and Throckmorton meeting again after all these years.
Leela.
And you knowing each other so terribly well and all.
How's that again, darling?
I said it must be...
Excuse me, Leela. Vera, I'm going to hold you to that promise you made.
What promise was that?
You know you were going to sing.
Oh, he's been after me all evening to sing, as if I hadn't sung enough already.
But you said you would.
Oh, but not right now. Not before the Welsh rarebit.
Yes, right now, this very minute. Please, Vera.
Oh, he's cute, isn't he? Oh, how can I resist him? Oh, why it means so much to you, I'll sing.
Oh, good.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank goodness.
What should I sing?
Sing something romantic. Sing the song that brought you two together.
Brought who together? Well, what shall it be?
Well, after all, Vera, there's only one song where you're concerned. That's it.
Oh, no, if you don't mind. I think I'd rather sing a new song.
Oh, a new song? What's that?
One that will always remind me of you.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right, you sing it.
Mr.
It's almost 12, my dear.
Did you have a good time at Mrs. Ransom?
Yes.
I love the student, Prince.
Marjorie, would you mind not singing that?
But I thought you liked it.
As far as I'm concerned, I wish the student prince had never gone to college. Wish he'd gone to reform school. Good night, my dear. Good night, everybody.
Original music heard on this program was composed and conducted by Billy Mills. This is Frank Bingman speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company and inviting you to tune in again next week for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve.
Do you like macaroni and cheese? If you do, listen to this. Your grocer has a product that gives you wonderful macaroni and cheese in just 7 minutes cooking time. The name of this product is Kraft Dinner. In a package of Kraft Dinner is a special type of quick-cooking macaroni and some Kraft grated which puts grand cheese flavor through and through the macaroni. You cook this special macaroni in boiling water for 7 minutes, just 7 minutes. Then you sprinkle in the Kraft grated. That's all there is to it. Your macaroni and cheese is ready to be served. No blanching or baking is necessary. None of the old-fashioned bother of making this grand American dish. Kraft Dinner gives you macaroni and cheese a new-fashioned way. And here's something else that's wonderful about Kraft Dinner. It's economical. A single package makes enough for 4. Serve Kraft Dinner once a week or oftener, and keep a package or 2 handy for those last-minute emergencies when you need something to stretch the meal for the unexpected guest. Ask your dealer for Kraft Dinner. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
Cheese Company, who also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night, present each week at this time Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve, written by John Whedon. We'll hear from The Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. What kind of appetites do you have in your family? Well, if they're the kind of appetites that have to be tempted, here's a suggestion. Get acquainted right away with Parquet Margarine, the delicious, wholesome spread for bread made by Kraft. Because the delicate, appetite-tempting flavor that makes Parquet Margarine such a delicious spread for bread makes it grand for cooking, too. Serve Parquet at the table, of course, at every meal, but keep it nearby when you're preparing meals as well. You see, Parquet seasons potatoes and all hot vegetables to the king's taste. You'll find cookies and cakes taste better made with Parquet because it adds its own delicate flavor to all baked foods. Parquet makes pan-fried foods tastier, too. And remember, you're adding extra nourishment to foods when you use Parquet Margarine. It's an excellent energy food that contains vitamin A. Best of all, Parquet is economical, so get some tomorrow. Just ask for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, Parquet Margarine, made by Kraft. Now let's join our friend, the Great Gildersleeve. For several days, he's been harboring a dark secret. To wit, the third tooth from the rear on the upper left-hand side has been giving him a little trouble.
Oh, it has not.
This morning, after lingering alone over a hearty breakfast, he rises from the table, saunters past the sideboard, sneaks a piece of taffy from the bonbon dish, pops it into his mouth, and...
Ouch! Ew.
Mr. Gildersleeve, what's the trouble? You got toothache?
No, Bertie, certainly not. I just happened to bite on something, that's all.
Your tongue, maybe?
Yeah, my tongue.
Well, there's only one thing to do about a bad tooth.
I know that, but I'd rather not be reminded of it.
Oh, this don't hurt none.
And anyway, I haven't got a bad tooth. What do you do, Bertie?
Well, you got a penny?
A what?
A penny. Have you got a penny?
Well, I have, but don't let it get around. The government might hear about it.
All right, you take the penny and you put it in your mouth. Now, you put it next to the gum where the tooth hurts, and you keep it there for 2 days. Don't even take it out.
But how do I eat?
Well, you just eat around it.
Eat around.
And by the end of the second day, the penny will draw all the misery out of the tooth.
Can you guarantee that?
That's if the moon is right.
But suppose it isn't.
Well, then you still got the penny.
And the toothache. Why wouldn't it be better just to break down and go to the dentist?
Well, that's good, too.
What's all this about, dentist?
Oh, I was just...
Nothing, Marjorie, nothing. Bertie and I were just having a little discussion. Weren't we, Bertie?
Yes'm. About people that don't take care of the teeth.
Bertie.
Well, I don't care. I don't care if I am a tattletale. When I know something's wrong with you, I ain't going to hide it.
You're right, Bertie.
You got to take care of yourself, Mr. Gildersleeve, and you got to take care of your teeth. Your teeth is my meal ticket.
Come on, Uncle Mort. Which tooth is it?
Marjorie, there's nothing whatever the matter with my tooth. I'm just a little aware of it, that's all.
That settles it. You're going to the dentist.
No, my
You've
dear.
been putting it off and putting it off, and you're not going to put it off any longer.
Oh, yes, I am. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm cornered.
When did you go to the dentist last? Tell me.
Well, it was very recently.
It was?
Yes, it was only...
I thought so.
No, it was even more recent than that. I remember it perfectly. I just don't remember the date.
I'll bet you don't.
Well, why should I? You asked Donald Nelson when he went to the dentist last. I bet he can't tell you either. But ask him something important, and he's got it right at his fingertips. What are you laughing at, Bertie?
Getting that man to the dentist is just like pulling teeth.
You keep out of this, Bertie, and keep pulling teeth out of it, too. I never saw people in such a hurry to rush a man to the dentist.
You know what I think, Uncle Mort? I think you're afraid.
Afraid nothing.
Well, you ought to be ashamed. Even Leroy isn't afraid of the dentist. He went yesterday, and he's going again today.
Well, I'm not afraid either.
Then why don't you call up Dr. Shanks and make an appointment?
Certainly. I'll call him up. I'll make an appointment.
Good.
Only don't rush me. What's that?
Just Leroy coming downstairs.
Sounds like a barrel of potatoes. Leroy, can't you ever walk?
Not now. I'm late for school. Goodbye.
Leroy, ain't you going to take your lunch?
Oop, almost forgot. Where is it?
I'm just finishing it.
Well, I gotta get going.
Leroy, when was your appointment with the dentist?
You would have to bring that up. It's this afternoon, 3:30.
Would you be willing to let Uncle Mort go in your place?
You mean let him go to the dentist instead of me?
Yes. Would you mind if he took your appointment?
Are you kidding?
Now, Marjorie, I don't want to rob the boy of his...
No, not at all. I'm glad to do it, glad to do it. What's the matter? You got a toothache?
It's nothing but a slight twinge. Nothing for everybody to get so excited about.
Oh, gee, that can be bad, though. You want to take care of that.
No, my boy. It's more important for you to keep your appointment. Take care of your teeth when you're young, and they'll take care of you when they'll take care of you.
But, Uncle Mort, my tooth doesn't ache.
That's funny.
What?
Now that you mention it, neither does mine. It stopped. What do you know about that? Much ado about nothing, huh?
Uncle Mort?
Oh, there's Judge Hooker. I'm riding on his A card today. My hat and coat. I've got to go. Goodbye, Marjorie.
Goodbye, you big baby.
Hurry up, Gildy. I got the motor running.
Good morning, Judge. Well, this looks like a wonderful day, doesn't it?
Never mind the salutations. This is costing me gas. Hop in. Well, how goes it, Gildy?
Well, tell the truth, Judge, not so good. Did you ever have a tooth that... Hey, look out!
I saw him.
You saw him. Did you ever have a tooth that hurt whenever you bit down on it, Judge?
Did I ever have a tooth?
Well, just take a look in there. I see you in the bag.
Where? Judge, watch where you're going.
I'm watching.
Well, keep your hands on the wheel, you old goat.
I want to tell you, I had an impacted wisdom tooth once, and he had to go in there after with a hammer and a chisel.
Ooh.
Worst thing that ever happened to me. Only thing to do, though, if you got a bad tooth, get it out of there. Chop it out. Get rid of it. It'll only make you trouble.
But mine isn't a wisdom tooth.
Makes no difference. Does it ache when you chew candy?
Well, yes, it does.
Same as mine. It's impacted, all right. It'll have to come out.
Oh, I was afraid of that. You, Judge, watch out! Hooker, that was a little close.
Listen, who's driving this car?
I don't know. Is anybody driving it?
It's my car. Don't be telling me how to drive it.
Yeah, well, it's my tooth, so don't be telling me what to do about it.
All right, Gildy. You want to get lockjaw, that's your business.
What do you mean, lockjaw?
A friend of my father's had a bad tooth like yours. He neglected it. He ended up with a lockjaw. Couldn't even open up his mouth to eat.
You?
Had to go in there with a hammer and a chisel.
Oh, Horace! If you don't mind...
I'm just telling you for your own good.
All right, I was feeling fine till you started talking. Hey, what are we stopping here for?
Barber shop. I got to get a shave.
But I don't need a shave.
Well, that's just too bad, Gildy. You forget, you happen to be sharing my car today.
Do I have to share your shave?
Well, no, you can walk the rest of the way if you want to.
All right, I will.
All right, go ahead.
By George, I would, too. I'd walk the whole way if it wasn't for this tooth.
Starting up again, is it? Now, I'll tell you what you want to do.
Oh, no, you won't. You're not going to get in there with that hammer and chisel again.
Make it a quick shave, Floyd. I got Gildersleeve waiting here.
Oh, carpool, huh? How you been, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Not so well, Floyd. Tooth's been bothering me. This one I have.
Well, yeah. Well, you think that's bad, huh? My wife's uncle had to have a tooth out last week. He lives 12 miles out of town, and all he's got is an A card. An A card, mind you. Is that fair? I'll leave it to you, Judge.
Now, Floyd, what does your wife's uncle do for a living?
Oh, he's retired. He's got his pension.
I thought so.
Oh, wouldn't you retire if you got a pension? Is that any reason to take a man's gas away from him?
Under the present circumstances, it's as good a reason as I can think of. And they're not taking his gas away from him. They're just holding him down to what he needs.
Yeah, well...
The government isn't picking on your wife's uncle, Floyd. They're just cutting out a few things like those trips over to your house for Sunday dinner.
Hey, maybe they're doing me a favor at that. Hey, but I had a fella in here yesterday. He sat right in that chair where you're sitting, Mr. Gildersleeve.
I think I'll move. This is too much like a dentist chair.
Hey, don't say dentist to me. But I was telling you about this fella. I don't know who he is, but he came in here, and it turns out he's very close to a certain party, and he tells me that this gas rationing is a lot of bunk.
Oh, he did, huh?
Yeah. He says there's no shortage of gas. He says there's gas to burn right here in Summerfield.
They're not rationing gas, Floyd. They're rationing mileage. They're rationing rubber.
Well, why don't they say so then?
They've been saying so. If you could just read, you ignorant...
Now, Horace. Perhaps reason would be more effective with our little chum here.
Yeah, gee, let's not get into an argument over this.
All right, Gildy, you try to explain it.
I will. Now, Floyd, you say that gas rationing is the bunk.
Well, that's what the fella told me.
But, Floyd, do you know who controls most of the rubber in the world today? The Japs. 90% of it.
That's right.
That's right.
And do you know how important rubber is? This whole country moves on rubber.
Well, now, wait a minute. Trains don't. I've been on a train.
You've been on it. I know, but the fact is that most of this country's traveling is not done on trains or trolleys or airplanes or buses.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Here's a piece of paper I cut out. Look, 86% of the traveling done by Americans last year was in private automobiles.
Is that a fact?
That's why it's important to keep your car and my car going. Because of all the private automobiles fold up, the country's paralyzed.
Well, sure, I can see that.
Well, that's all there is to it, then. You see, Judge, all it takes is a little reasoning.
Well, there's just one thing I don't get.
What's that?
Well, my tires belong to me. Why shouldn't I ride on them all I want?
Floyd Munyon, you're the stupidest man I ever met. I don't see how you ever got through even barber college. Why...
Hey, Gildy.
What?
What happened to the light of pure reason?
All right, you try explaining it. Let me see you get anywhere with him.
All right. What is it you don't understand, Floyd?
Well, what about this synthetic rubber? What about that?
What about it? Have you got any?
No.
Then how are you going to ride on it?
Say, Gildy. Who's explaining this, you or me?
Well, all I got to say is they're my tires, and why shouldn't I ride on them? This is a free country, isn't it?
By George, it won't be free much longer if people figure the way you do.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Gildersleeve.
I will not. Stop waving that razor at me, Floyd.
All I say is a man has a right to his opinion.
Well, I have an opinion I'd like to express at this time.
What's that?
You and all the other people who squawk about gas rationing give me a pain. And not in my tooth, either. I'll see you later. I'm sorry that I'm late, Miss Fitch. I shared Judge Hooker's car with him this morning, and when you share his car, you share his private life.
When I came to work on a bus, the woman next to me shared my feet.
Very good. They're big enough. Any important problems come up in my absence?
Nothing that I couldn't handle.
I'd like to see anything you couldn't handle, Miss Fitch.
Well, after 33 years in the water department, life doesn't hold many surprises.
I suppose not. Say, what are we going to do about that inquiry from the Board of Health? I keep forgetting about it.
Don't worry, I took care of that.
Oh, good.
We had a communique from the pumping station this morning. They're getting low on coal.
Well, you better put in an order for some more coal.
I did. I took care of that.
Oh, fine. By the way, I ran into Mr. Powers over at the air raid meeting last night, and he was complaining about...
I know. I took care of that, too.
Why, Miss Fitch, you're wonderful. Well, what's the order of business here now?
I have all the figures for the annual report, if you want to start on that.
Oh, fine. Let me get a cigar first. Then we'll roll up our sleeves and go to work. Oh, didn't I bring any cigars? Even Donald Nelson can't work without a cigar.
I believe you'll find some in your upper right-hand drawer.
Oh, you even took care of that. You're a remarkable woman, Miss Fitch. If I don't keep an eye on you, Donald Nelson will be stealing you away from me.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, you're joking.
Oh, no, I'm not. Would you like to be in Washington?
No, I'd rather be a big frog in a small puddle.
You mean you're happy here when you could be working for an important man like Donald Nelson?
I don't want to work for anybody important. I want to stay here and work for you.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Miss Fitch. Let's get on with the report. If you'll hand me that lighter. Thank you. There. Now. Oh, can't even bite on a cigar. I'm afraid I'll have to be seeing a dentist one of these days.
Don't worry.
Oh, no?
I took care of that. You have an appointment for 4 this afternoon.
Oh!
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in a few seconds. You know, nowadays, it's really a homemaker's duty to see that her family gets the right kind of foods. Yes, and it's just as much her duty to keep her food budget in line. Well, there's one important food that helps you do both these jobs. And that food is economical parquet margarine, the delicious, nutritious spread for bread made by Kraft. Parquet margarine is one of the kinds of foods that our government recommends for good nutrition. That's because it's so wholesome and nourishing. Actually, Parquet is one of the best energy foods you can serve. What's more, every pound of Parquet margarine contains 9,000 units of vitamin A, making it a really dependable source of this important vitamin the year round. Economical Parquet, you know, is widely known as the margarine that tastes so deliciously good. So why not start serving it to your family tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow, sure. Ask your food dealer for Parquet, Parkay. Parquet, the delicious vegetable margarine made by Kraft. Now let's hurry back to the great Gildersleeve, who's in a sorry state by this time, unable to work, unable to eat, and unable to think of anything but his approaching appointment with the dentist. He's decided to come home for a little rest before the ordeal, and we find him now trudging up the walk, while in the living room, Marjorie and Mrs. Ransom are deep in conference.
Don't you tell your uncle now, you hear? 'Cause I don't want him to know I'm making it for him, not till Christmas.
Oh, not a word.
You just pretend like you want to know his measurements out of curiosity.
I'll find some way. I should know them, but I keep forgetting. I guess because I can't believe them when I hear them. Leroy? Who's that? Uncle Moore, it's so early.
Hello, my dear. Hello, Leila.
Oh, Throckmorton, you just came here to spy.
Oh, no, I live here, remember? Spy on what?
Wouldn't you love to know?
Oh, would I? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Christmas isn't so terribly far off, you know.
Christmas. Oh, Christmas.
Yes, I'm making something for you, but I won't tell you what.
Be careful now, you'll give it away.
Well, I thought it wouldn't do any harm to tell him that much, but you'll have to guess the rest.
Oh, well, that's nice of you, Leila, but you really shouldn't have done it. Marjorie, is Leroy home yet?
No, not yet. He usually doesn't bust in till about 10 after 3.
Burst, Marjorie.
Oh, yeah, burst.
Yes. Well, don't let him get away without speaking to me.
Oh, but Throckmorton, don't you want to guess? Haven't you any curiosity?
Guess? Guess what?
What I'm making for you.
Oh, well, I'm afraid I wouldn't be very good at guessing today, Leila. Tell the truth, I'm feeling a little under the weather.
Uncle Mort, is it that tooth again?
Well, yes.
Oh, I knew it. If you'd gone to the dentist, you'd feel better.
I'm going to the dentist, and I feel worse.
Glad you finally got some sense. Now, why don't you just lie down here and rest till it's time to go?
I think I will, if you don't mind.
Yes, now go get a hot water bottle. That may help.
Lie down now, Throckmorton. That's right.
Yeah.
Poor boy. Got a nasty tooth. Lay your head down now, and I'll just kneel here and soothe your brow.
That feels so good. You have healing hands, Leila.
Oh, gracious, I'm afraid they're pretty rough now that I'm doing my own work.
Isn't that admirable? Don't stop. I think the pain is going away.
Throckmorton,
Yes, Leila?
it begins with an S.
If what does?
The thing I'm making for you.
Oh, yeah. It's a nice letter, S.
I don't want you to get the idea that just because I'm making you a present, you have to give me one, though. I don't want you to think that.
Oh, I wasn't thinking that.
Promise you won't give me anything now.
All right, I promise.
On your word of honor?
On my word of honor.
Oh.
Don't go, Leila.
Oh, I'm afraid I must.
But, Leila.
You don't even care enough about my present to guess what it is.
I do, too. Let me see. S. S.
Hot water bottle. Now put it on the side that aches. That may relieve it till the dentist gets at it.
Marjorie, guess what? The most wonderful thing has happened. While you were out of the room, all of a sudden, the pain was gone.
Oh, no, you don't.
What do you mean?
You're coming with me to the dentist. Oh, yes, you are.
Don't worry, Throckmorton. You go to the dentist, and before you know it, bingo, it'll be all over.
That's what I'm afraid of, that bingo.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Hello, Peavy. Peavy, I just sneaked in for a minute. I've got to talk fast. They're waiting for me outside the drugstore.
Who, the police?
The police. No, Marjorie and Leroy.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, you're shaking.
Well, you'd be shaking, too. I'm on my way to the dentist.
The dentist? Well, that's something we all have to face at one time or another, I guess.
Don't give me any philosophy. What I want is something that'll cure a toothache, and quickly.
Well, now, that's rather a large order. That's a problem science has been working on for a good many years.
I can't wait for science, Peavy. I've got to be at the dentist in 15 minutes if I don't cure this thing first. Now, how about it?
Well, that word cure, Mr. Gildersleeve, is a word we druggists like to avoid.
Never mind the word. What I want to know is... You sell toothache remedies, don't you?
Yes, I do sell a toothache remedy. Several varieties, as a matter of fact. Though most of them come down to about the same thing, oil of cloves.
Yes, all right. A toothache remedy remedies a toothache, doesn't it?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. It may relieve it temporarily.
Relieve it or remedy it, Peavy. Don't quibble. All druggists are supposed to be friendly, aren't they?
Yes, we do rather pride ourselves on our friendliness.
Well, then be a pal. Help me out of this, Peavy. If I can cure this tooth before I get to the dentist, I may be able to call the whole thing off.
Mr. Gildersleeve, if I could guarantee to do that, I wouldn't be in the drug business. I'd set up as a dentist.
In other words, you admit your toothache remedies are no darn good.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. But if you're looking for something really effective, I can recommend a cure for corn.
Corn?
I've used it myself with great satisfaction. So has Mrs. Peavy.
A cure for corns isn't going to help me with my tooth, Peavy.
No, but it's a good thing to know about.
You're no help to me, Peavy. Goodbye.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes?
There is one remedy for toothache I've heard recommended.
What's that?
I've never had occasion to try it myself. I don't know that it has any scientific basis.
Oh, never mind the science. What is it?
Have you ever tried placing a penny next to gum?
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Wouldn't you think the doc could get some decent magazines in here? Not a comic book in the whole place.
Be quiet, Leroy.
Why? Who's dead?
Leroy.
What are you so nervous about, Unc?
I'm not nervous. I just don't like waiting, that's all. Makes me restless.
Your hand's trembling.
Leroy, read your magazine.
Look at mine, steady as a rock. I bet I could hold it still for 5 minutes.
You think you could hold your tongue still for a few minutes?
Sure.
Well, try it.
If you're not nervous, Unc, what did you make Marge drive you down for?
Well, because if you must know, dentists sometimes give people gas. I don't want to drive home and I'm under the influence of laughing gas. Now stop asking questions.
What are you reading, Unc?
National Geographic.
Interesting?
Oh, yes, very.
Wouldn't it be easier to read if you turned it right side up?
Good.
Dr. Shanks is ready now.
After you, Unc.
No, you go ahead, Leroy.
Age before beauty.
Leroy, you get in there.
All right.
Hello there, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, hello, Doctor.
I won't keep this young man but a minute. Just finishing up with him.
Oh, that's all right. No hurry. Take your time, Doc. They always tell you that, Marjorie. It won't take but a minute. It isn't going to hurt a bit. That poor kid's liable to be in there an hour.
Oh, I don't think so. He hasn't got much left to do.
I feel sorry for him, though, my dear. He puts up a big front, but underneath it, I'll bet he's scared to death.
I don't believe Leroy has a nerve in his entire body. If he had, he couldn't stand the noises he makes.
Well, there's something in that. Say, it's awfully quiet in there, isn't it?
Is there anything strange about that?
No, I just wonder what they're doing to him.
Why don't you try not to think about it, Uncle Mort? Why don't you read your magazine?
You suppose they could be giving him gas in there?
Why do you keep worrying about gas? Dentists don't give gas all the time.
Well, they never let you know when they're going to. They sneak up on you with it.
Did you ever have gas?
No, but I've heard all about it. Laughing gas. They sneak up behind you and clap one of those things over your face.
Oh, Uncle Mort, that's old-fashioned. If you go to the dentist more often, you get rid of those ideas.
You needn't try to make me feel good, my dear. I know what I'm in for. Just wish it wasn't so quiet, that's all. I could stand it if it wasn't so quiet. If somebody would just make a noise.
All right, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Uncle Mort, that's you.
Me?
Steady. Steady.
What's the matter, Unc? You look as if you were going to the chair.
I am.
Well, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, hello, Doc.
Long time no see, huh?
How have you been? Just climb into the chair there and make yourself comfortable.
Yeah, I've been pretty well, Doctor. Except for this little tooth of mine.
Well, we'll get to the bottom of that. How's that new neighbor of yours that moved in there next door to you?
Oh, Mrs. Ransom? Oh, she's fine.
See much of her?
Oh, we pass the time of day now and then.
What's that? What's that, Doc? It's just my instruments, a few drills and whatnot.
Whatnot?
What's the matter? Why, you're perspiring. You're looking a little pale there.
I am?
Miss Mitchell, take that bottle there and give him a whiff, will you?
Oh, no, you don't.
Now, Mr. Gildersleeve, it's nothing to be afraid
Take
of.
it away. Take it away, Doc.
Breathe in, please.
Here, take a breath.
You can't fool me. I know what you're up to.
Hold it under his nose. Now, breathe in. Here. Come out of that. Stop it. Nothing but spirits of ammonia.
I thought it was laughing gas.
Laughing gas? I haven't given laughing gas in 20 years.
Yeah.
Now, let's have a look at that mouth of yours now.
Yeah. It's a hard tooth on the upper left-hand side.
Well, plenty of space in there.
I see, Doc.
That's very interesting.
It is.
You get a sharp pain when you bite down? Miss Mitchell, hand me those tweezers, will you?
Well, Doc.
Relax, man, relax. This isn't going to hurt.
Where have I heard that before?
Now, open your mouth.
Okay.
By the way, what did you have for dinner on Thanksgiving?
Turkey.
I thought so. There. There's the whole cause of your trouble.
What's that?
A little sliver of turkey bone lodged between your second and third molars. When you bit down on it, it jabbed your gum.
That's all?
That's all.
There's nothing else the matter with my teeth?
Not that I can see. That'll be $10, please.
Dear Diary, well, it's been nearly a week now, and I've still got more than 3/4 of a tank full. I've managed to get to most of the places I wanted to go, and I even got to one place I didn't want to go to at all. Yeah, maybe it isn't going to be so bad. What worries me is people like Floyd the barber. They don't seem to realize that the shortage of rubber is nationwide, and that's why rationing has to be nationwide. I read where Jeffers says the tires we have on our cars now are going to have to last us at least till the middle of 1944. Of course, I don't know Jeffers personally, but Donald Nelson speaks well of him. Anyway, it strikes me that saving our tires is like saving money. Most of us can't do it unless we figure out a system that'll force us to. And that's what this gas rationing is. Naturally, it's going to take a little time to get it adjusted, so that every man gets the gas he needs to get him to his job. But that's the intention. So let's have a little patience and try to make this thing work, folks. Because if it doesn't, heaven help our men at the front, and heaven help us. Good night, everybody.
Original music heard on this program was composed and conducted by Billy Mills. This is Ken Carpenter speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company and inviting you to tune in again next week for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve.
It's a time saver. It meets any mealtime emergency. What does? Why, that's 7-minute macaroni and cheese made with Kraft Dinner. Now, the macaroni in a package of Kraft Dinner is a very special kind. It cooks up tender and fluffy in just 7 minutes. But that's only half the secret of Kraft Dinner. The Kraft Grated is the other half. It also comes in the package of Kraft Dinner. You just sprinkle it through, and the macaroni is drenched with mild cheese flavor. No fuss or bother to this new-fashioned way of making that old-fashioned dish. And you'll find Kraft Dinner is a handy thing to have around when your family is on time for dinner and you're late. Because in just 7 minutes you can serve them swell macaroni and cheese. So keep a few packages of Kraft Dinner on your pantry shelf always. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.